Hello everyone, my name is Leonard. Today I'm going to present the assignment 1 of the ground water flow modeling, and my chosen topic is the interaction between groundwater and surface hydrology based on three publication studies, Bijan, Nimansar, Cho, and Barthel. Structure of the presentation will be focused on modeling objective, introduction of the studies and conceptual modules, methodologies, criticism of the methods, highlights of the studies, synthesis and conclusion, and references. Regarding the introduction of this subject, this presentation will explore the interaction between groundwater and surface water, which is a critical area for the sustainable water management. I wanted to start from the big picture. We can see here that the most used model for this comparison and this interaction are the SWOT mode flow, GS flow, Mike Shee, Hydro Geosphere, and others, but half of them are related to the SWOT mod flow. If we see also the big picture, we can see that the modeling of the groundwater and surface water interaction is mainly based on the hydrologic model scale, local scale modeling, and also regional scale modeling. And in order to cover all of them, this is why I chose also these three papers, because all of them are in different scale focus. Introduction of the studies, I can say that the first model is a comparative case study based on the catchment area scale, also located in Canada, focus on comparing integrated models. The second publication is a type of applying a case study. As the scale is a watershed located in USA and focused mainly on BMP impact on the surface and groundwater interaction. The third study, which is so important to mention, is a big and very good study related to the paper review, but the scale here is a regional scale, mainly focused on different studies that have been done in Germany, in USA, Netherlands, and also in Australia, but in bigger scale, like river basin regions, etc., in order to find the challenges and the limitation for a larger scale of the groundwater and surface hydrology interaction between them. About the conceptual modeling approach of the three publications. In the first publication, I can say that they have used both simplified and physically based model in order to simulate the water flow at catchment area. On the second publication, represents a linked model integrating surface water, groundwater, and pollutant transport to assess the BMP effectiveness. And finally, at the final paper, Battle 1 focused on a broader conceptual challenges on regional modeling, stressing the lack of integrated tools that handle spatial variability and data limitation, but on the larger scales. Regarding the objective of this study, we can say that the first one assess if a simplified model like the coupled models MobiDig and ModFlow can replicate the physical base model Mike Shee in a catchment area. The second one develop a linked modeling system to simulate the surface and groundwater interaction and evaluate the best management practices BMP impacts on hydrology and water quality, and the third article mainly is a review and critical analysis, which is so important in this field, that analyze the groundwater and surface modeling at the ridge scale by identifying the gaps and the needs for integrated models, which are linked or so more related ready to the real world applicability. Regarding the methodology used by this study, we mentioned a little bit before, the first study, the Bijani Mansar, use the software of coupled Mobidic and ModFlow, which are a conceptual module, and also the MikeSheet, which is physical based model. The grid geometry is 20 meters square grid, and because of the area is a big one, we had more than 40 sorry 28,000 more than 28,000 cells. On the second article, the software are used different software like Dansat for modeling of the surface water, and ModFlow for the groundwater, and especially it used the MT3D for to model the transportation of the water from the surface to the ground. And the grid geometry here, and the second article, we have shared spatial domain variable time steps that we will see on the slides below. On the third article, we have the review of the models like ModFlow, MikeSheet, Catchy, GS Flow, and other models that are used mainly on larger scales of modeling, and you can say that the regional scales grid setup challenges due to the data gaps are missing, and we have a lot of limitations there. Regarding the derivation of the key modeling parameters, at the first article, we found that the unsaturated zone parameters like gravity and capillarity reservoirs, also the richer equation parameters and the mobidic parameters adjusted during calibration to match MikeSheet outputs and observed water's level. The calibration was done in this case, calibration parameters against the benchmark MikeSheet, adjusting mobidic outfit. On the second paper, the derivation of the key modeling parameters were related to the soil and land use parameters, hydraulic conductivity and storativity, and we had also the pollution transport parameters. Here, the calibration mainly will rely on the literature, natural database, and assumed value due to the missing data. Here is an important thing that the hydrology calibrated against observed stream flow and database. But the most important thing is that the modeling for the transportation did not calibrate it due to the lack of data, which is a big issue for this model in this publication case. For the third article, we don't have any derivation because I told you before the reason of taking by me this article was to find the gaps on larger scale between the ground water and the surface water interaction. But mainly the conclusion, the calibration there, we can say that conclusion that emphasizes that parameters derivation at larger scale remains a challenge due to the data gaps and spatial variability. This article highlights the need of better data field regarding the conceptual models. Here I have presented two photos. The first one on the left side, we can see the different layers and the way when the Moby Dick and ModFlow were used. Mainly on the upper layers, the Moby Dick was used, and after that to the down layer, the ModFlow. The second picture, we can see the flow chart showing the integration between these models and how they interact and help each other. Here we can see also the step-by-step procedure of integrated surface water and groundwater modeling to all steps since the building the 3D geological model of the catchment until the simulation. Regarding the second paper, we can regarding the conceptual model, here we can present two two figures regarding the model used. On the upper part, downside model, and the down part, mod flow, and the MT3D, which were used for the transportation. And also the second picture represent the data steps. Here is the flow chart of the dual simulation approach for this study. Regarding the highlights of the study, we can say that the Moby Dick and Mike Shea on the first study reproduce a similar water table. Result stable in stable areas, but derived during extreme events. That we can see also the representative of the photo that for some days they were almost the same, but they had differences in some other parts. Regarding the second article, we can see here that the downside model and the model flow improve surface runoffs prediction. On the third article, it identified regional data gaps called for flexibility models balancing complexity and data synthesis. And conclusion, we can say that this is so important, and how the surface water and the groundwater interact with each other. In the second, regarding the agriculture, in the first one, in the catchment area, comparison is so important. Also, the lesson learned is so important of the model, and in order to select the proper model. About the advancement, it is so important that we have to develop a model that can scale up these insights of the region level. And yeah, in this case was on the first and the third models. Here are all the references, and thank you for your attention.